Hello and welcome to today's session. Thank you for joining me. As always, we're going to review the FDAX Mini. We're trading an Apex Trader Funding account of 25k. It's an evaluation. We're aiming for a target total balance of $26,500. So we're about 20% to target at the moment. We've got about 15 minutes before the market opens. And what I'm going to be looking at is the pivot points, the price in relation to Bollinger Bands on multiple time frames on the CFD charts. I'm also going to be looking at the 1 hour and 5 minute order flow. So we've got about 15 minutes to kind of make an assessment, build a view on what the market should be doing, and then figure out how we're going to actually interact with the market when it goes live, when the volatility picks up and the market starts moving more aggressively. Kicking off with the 5 minute Bollinger Bands, what we've got is the pivot points here. So we've got the R3 to the S3. At the moment, we've got the breakout long and the R1 being the critical levels we're looking at. We can see this morning we kind of opened in the pre-market just around the R1, went all the way down to the pivot before coming right back up to the R1 at the moment. What I'll be looking for is again a close of the gap, as we saw multiple days last week. We may see a push higher above this R1, so I'm not particularly expecting this to hold, but I'll be using the depth of market, but also the order flow throughout the trading session, just to see what real orders are actually pushing the market, what direction the markets are getting pushed in. So as you can see here, for example, we've got the R1. We're at that level now, and we've got 15 contracts on the ask side, and then followed by a lot of green or bid side orders pushing it lower. This price action or order flow kind of tells me we may head lower, but as I mentioned in last week's videos, I don't like to get in pre-market. So we're just waiting for that open, see where the pre-market takes us, and looking for, in particular, impulsive moves at the open, rejecting off certain levels towards our target, and using the order flow to kind of identify or nullify our decisions, so that we don't make any bad decisions. A good outcome for today for this account, I'd like to hit maybe add another $150 to the balance, which would add another 10% towards the target. So we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping for some good short positions. And I'll just quickly cover some of the longer time frame outlook as well, based on the Bollinger Bands and that kind of thing. So at the moment, this is a 5 minute. Have a quick look at the monthly. Nothing to see really. One thing to note, we are the first of the month, so it's the 1st of September. We may anticipate some buying coming into the new month. On the weekly, we can see last week dropped off. It was the last day of the month on Friday, when it comes to trading at least, or the open market. So we saw a big drop off there. Perhaps we'll see some buying come in. We are at the 24,000 big round number as well. It's important to note. And we've had quite a few rejections. So 1, 2, 3, and then I guess 4 if you count last week as well. Nothing in relation to the Bollinger Bands though. So we'll have a look at the daily. Nothing much there. We can kind of see that it's been bearish movement. We are trading a bit higher at the moment, but again, we're in pre-market, so we can't really count this candle too much. So it's been very bearish movement over this period, over the last sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sort of 6 days, I guess. On the H4, we're on the lower side of the Bollinger Bands, so we'll see how that plays out, but nothing in particular there guiding my decisions. The 1 hour, we'd have to get well past the previous day's high to reach that Bollinger Band, so again, nothing there. 30 minute, about the same. 15 minute, the 15 minute's a little bit tighter, so if we did get up towards this high, that could be a rejection off the Bollinger Band on the 15 minute. However, remembering the 30 minute and 1 hour are much higher than that. So we're on the 5 minute. No big indicators on the bigger time frames that I could determine as to direction or key areas to look out for, unless we get a really big spike in the other direction. So we've got 9 minutes now till the open. I'll just check the distance to the close gap. It's a little under 90 points, about 85 points if we got in a little lower, so it's worthwhile. And then on the flip side of that, it's probably about a 30-point stop to give us a bit of breathing space above this R1. So if we went a 40-point stop, for example, that's a 1:2 risk-reward ratio, which is quite good. But the things to note are it is the first day of the month, so we're expecting some potential buying. It might push us up above the R1 to start off the day. If we see a really strong push down, fill the gap, and then some rejection off the lower prices, so that 23,881, I might be looking for a long position, but it's not overly strong in terms of a buy, so it'd have to be really impulsive and then start to see that order flow taking control, like we saw last week, where I showed you the really definite sort of positioning of the orders. There was a massive order. Let's say this 15 was, say, like a 50, and that was a really good indication that the market was probably going to turn around. I do have another Apex Trader Funding evaluation account to give away. So you can choose any size you like. So whether it's 25K, 300K, and you can choose any platform you like. So just make sure you choose a platform that you kind of understand and have a good grasp of, because I can't give more of those out. I can only give the one out today. So get active in the comments, guys. I will be picking a winner towards the end of the trading session. While the market opens, though, I will be focusing on, I guess, the order flow, what's happening in the market, and looking for opportunities and talking through my thought process. So we've got about 7 minutes to go, guys. Some days the analysis, it's not as strong, so there's not as many factors pointing to what I'm expecting. And that's when we turn to, for example, the order flow to help understand what levels are going to play more of a part or not. So people often ask in these sessions, what's my strategy? I'm really looking at all of the analysis overall and often looking for reversals on a shorter time frame, generally on the 5-minute time frame. Just looking for opportunities where I can sort of make more than what I'd expect to lose if it goes the other way. So as far as a strategy, it's more of an overall picture, because every day is a little bit different. Certain days will present different strategies based on the levels, based on the order flow as well. And in the description, I've got the order flow book that I've kind of been reading that told me, I guess, what to look out for in the order flow which helps determine when the market might turn around, when it's slowing. It was quite helpful. So that's the book by Tradovate on order flow. So we're really just waiting for another 5 minutes for the market to open. This would have been an excellent sell up at that sort of 15 contract where I mentioned it is pushing lower because we've got this bid side activity after a strong ask order, all on one price line. So we can see the market's kind of pushed up, it's hit this level, and the sellers have basically put in their limit orders, people have jumped out of their buy orders, and then we can see more order flow on the bid side pushing it further down. I didn't get in though, as I mentioned. I don't like to trade in the pre-market because the volatility is not always there to provide enough safety against the market perhaps just drifting up blindly. I'll just zoom out and see if there's a bit of an order profile, volume profile to look at. Doesn't really tell me much on this chart, for example. So I'll zoom back in. So we've got 4 minutes. We're floating down towards that close gap. From this price point, I wouldn't particularly be looking to get in short. The likelihood is that we'll probably go down, at least hit that pivot. But when you think of the risk reward, I'd probably want stops up above this the R1. So that's about 58 points away, and the close is about 65 points away. So it's not really worth the risk, because while it's probably more likely to go down and touch that gap, there's every chance that we'll push higher at the open as well. So I don't want to take that risk. Remember to type into the chat box, guys, if you guys want to win the free account. So there is one to give away towards the end of this session. We've got 3 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go now, I should say. And we'll see what the market brings. So first day of the month. Hopefully we will see some buying. So perhaps we might get a really impulsive move down to this close gap outside of the Bollinger Band. It'll work on the 15-minute as well. What's the SMT? The 30-minute, if we hit the low, that would work as well. And then the hourly still works. 4 hourly, it's getting out of reach at that point. I'm talking about the Bollinger Band and the low. If we were to spike impulsively towards that, it may be worth looking for a buy. We've got 1 minute till the open. The market's starting to sort of push up a little bit. I don't really look at divergence much. I find it a little bit over technical. I like to keep the trading quite simple, so it's nice and easy to react in the moment. So I guess building a picture based on what I've mentioned here. Obviously adding things does help, but it's not something that I look at. Got 5 seconds till the open. Not sure what this activity is here. It's either quite a bit of volume coming in. That looks like buying. if we get a really strong impulsive move up a little bit higher, followed by some limit orders on the ask side, that will tell me that I'll be looking to get in. The main confluence is particularly when the pivot points are really tight together. So if the levels are really close together, and then it's also followed by the order flow confirming that, like a rejection off those levels, that's sort of the best thing that I've found, works for me anyway. Coming up to those levels, hopefully we push up a little bit higher. Volume's a little thin here, just for now, so it's going to potentially keep going. And we're just looking, we've hit the level, but I was hoping for a bit more ask side activity before I get in. It's a lot of, I guess, aggressive selling, I would say. But there's no limit order to really take us in. So somebody's shorting, but there wasn't that indication on the order flow to take me in. But it does look like selling for now. Just waiting for, so we've hit the level on the pivots, and now I'm just looking for an indication to take me short, if it's going to happen. As I said as well, it's the first day of the month, so there's buying. I'm tempted to get in. Okay, just in for one contract. I haven't particularly seen what I'm looking for just yet, but we'll see how this plays out. I'll probably have to get out quite quickly, because if this is limit order buys, I don't want to be on the wrong side of that. Thanks everyone for coming to watch the channel. Really appreciate your support as I talk through what I'm looking for in the markets and attempting to pass this Apex Trader Funding evaluation. The tricky part with the Apex Trader Funding is the trailing drawdown. You've got to keep your wins quite tight, so you kind of have to get in and out quite quickly, and not take too big a losses all at once. So I'm probably going to get out here. There we go. That was 75 USD. So we're done in 3 minutes, so pretty happy with that. The market may continue lower, which on previous days it has. It's gone right down to target, but with Apex Trader Funding, it is good to just get in and out, take little snippets along the way, and really focus on that consistency. So every day looking for little trades like that, taking very limited risk. That's what they're looking for because of that that trailing drawdown. Yeah, thanks for watching, Flash. Do you have interest in a free account, or you're still just learning at the moment? It's very thin trading at this whole price region, and then it gets up to this R1 and it's met with a lot more volume. So I'm still trying to understand what's likely happening here. I think, with all that volume, the market's happy trading at this price. It's not happy trading down here. I'm not sure if that's going to propel it much higher or allow it to come down and fill the gap. Awesome, Flash. Well, thanks so much for joining anyway. I hope you find the session helpful. I'll keep watching the market just to see if there is any big indications that the market's going to move. It's likely that it will be quite impulsive and fast. but I will be looking for a reason to get short. And it's gone short, but I didn't get the indication on the order flow. So for those who sort of sit there patiently and are not in an Apex Trader funding, obviously you could have been, I guess, sitting there holding that. But again, the trailing drawdown is really tight when it comes to Apex. So it's kind of falling off. I'm not sure we're going to get the indication we're looking for. So it's really just about waiting, waiting for the market to tell us what it's doing. So, you know, if I was a bit more, I guess, egotistical with my analysis, I would be looking to just get short and hope the market goes in that direction. But it's important to be guided by what's actually going on right in front of you, because sometimes you can get caught in trades that you shouldn't be in quite easily. Awesome. Good luck over there. Thanks for joining, Flash. Bit of volume here, sort of bounce the market back a little. We'll see if it continues lower. That might be aggressive buying at this level here. It's pushing the market up. As far as trading goes, though, I think we're all done. Unless something pops up here in the next sort of minute or so, I think that'll be it for today's session. So thanks everyone for joining. And not too bad of a session. We got $75 towards the target. It's about 5% of the target overall, so that's okay, particularly for a market that's not really moving in any particular direction over the last 10 minutes. All right, guys, enjoy your day and we'll catch up tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.